just so everybody knows here, hemp is being called the ultimate super crop. It is being called the $1 million crop, $1 trillion crop. Is that so? And the $1 billion crop. And when you actually go back to the old Vedic texts, it was actually hailed as one of the 5 sacred plants. Cannabis was hailed one of the 5 sacred plants. You can actually use hemp now to make over 25,000 products. And I have a very, very small list here, but you can use hemp to actually make hemp oil, hemp jeans, hemp flour, hemp shoes, bags, cookies, cakes, toilet paper, you just name it, 25,000 things can be made using hemp. And yet, when you go and actually Google hemp, one of the first things that comes up is, will it make me high? Will hemp make me high? If I eat a hemp cookie, will I be high? If I wear a hemp fiber t-shirt, will it make me high? Which is why for my very first thing to ask is, honestly, hand on heart, does hemp make people high? And I think I'm going to start maybe right at the end, and then after you are done, because I already know what your answer is going to be, I would also love to know a little bit about some of these strange things that all of you get asked about hemp.
Awesome. Thanks, Nandini, Ayush, firstly for having us here. It's a pleasure, and good afternoon to one and all. I think it's been about almost the better part of a decade that I've been answering some of these questions about, will hemp get me high? So just for everyone to know, we're talking about and addressing something which is pretty much a taboo in this country. It's called cannabis, but this plant has 2 species. One of them is hemp, whereas the other is marijuana. Now, the fundamental difference between these 2 is a compound in the plant called THC. THC is the euphoric high compound that gets everyone intoxicated. And hemp, specifically, the species of hemp, has reputedly under 0.3% THC. So when a plant has under 0.3% THC, whether it's used for wellness, nutrition, you make cookies out of it, coffee out of it, you can wear clothes out of it, all of that is absolutely legitimate, and it's never going to give you that high that you're looking for or not, right? So from a nutrition point of view, it's known as a superfood. In the health and wellness aspects, there are many uses that people have actually worked with on cannabis, and that's what we're here to tell you a little more about today.
And just like Nandini was saying, the minute you Google a word like that, the algorithm springs up all sorts of strange responses. Let's speak to Google about that. But Srijan, I know that you've got this very popular introduction where you say, I sell t-shirts made of bhang.
Yeah.
Because there's a taboo associated with that word, right? And I think with the entire industry, there's a lot of, like I said, myths that need to be busted. The entire hemp industry that largely is on this stage, a big chunk of it, what's the issue that you guys face? Is it genuinely a case of bad marketing and branding?
So, in a way, yes, it is a case of bad marketing and branding. I'm sorry guys, Srijan here from ItsHemp, and thank you for having me here. So let's get back to the question. So this is something that I have said many times before as well, that cannabis is a case of bad marketing. It is the most popular plant on the planet, and yet it is the most controversial plant as well. Some people talk about it as a plant which will get you high, others talk about it as medicines or food or clothing or whatever. In India, we popularly call it bhang, so that is where the statement that I often say that I sell bhang for a living comes from. And see, at the end of the day, it is a plant, right? You can call it magical, you can call it a drug or whatever. It depends on the use case and the people who are actually using the plant. We, on this panel today, are trying to create something from this plant that not a lot of people are interested in as a commercial activity, and we're trying to change that. So bringing a greener, healthier building a healthier planet with cannabis is the dream that we all are focused towards. So, yeah, I mean, if we get good marketing, then it will go from being the taboo plant to the wonder plant real soon.
And if
Go on.
Hello. Yeah. And if I could add to that, I think it's the responsibility is on us as an industry. You know, we form the social movement for medical cannabis or just cannabis as a plant in general, and we have to collectively drive forward that education. So yes, while the taboo in the country exists, we have to be well aware that this plant holds a long historical and cultural connection with us. And now we've been a witness of so many cases where patients are well benefiting from it. So are we really going to recognize this one plant for the single use of recreational purposes, or are we going to look at it for its 25,000 plus other uses where it can be, it can really help right from our consumers to our patients, to our farmers, to our government and an economy as a whole?